Come on in, boy, said the skeletons sitting by her closet door. Dirty secrets, empty memories, and broken hearts across the floor. I was knocked out, heels overhead, so you dragged me by my feet to a ghost town where you buried me. No wonder no one heard my screams. Love's so alive, but it died in its sleep. And now that it's dead, I live in your head, and I will haunt your fucking dreams. No one will love you like I did, will treat you like I did. So go on, wear that scarlet letter. No one will love you like I did, will touch you like I did. So good luck finding something better. Run away, boy, if you couldn't tell. Baby's got a thirst for blood, a subtle system, wicked melodies, craving bullets from her gun. So it should stay, follow every word, little sparkles in their eyes. Could you love her, turn an enemy, just to watch them burn alive? No one will love you like I did, will treat you like I did. So go on, wear that scarlet letter. No one will love you like I did, will touch you like I did. So good luck finding something better. Someday you may find that picture perfect guy, and I'll chase my words with poison until that day arrives and fly takes to the sky. Fill your void with open eyes. So no one will love you like I did, will treat you like I did. So go on, wear that scarlet letter. No one will love you like I did, will touch you like I did. So good luck finding something better. No one will love you like I did, will treat you like I did. So go on, wear that scarlet letter. No one will love you like I did, will fuck you like I did. So good luck finding something better.
Welcome back, my pack, my tribe. Okay, so oh boy, this next part is about to get really interesting. Only thing is I don't know if you're gonna hear anything. I don't came across when we did this part because I wasn't really listening. Because we started getting that flashlight interaction with Thomas. And because right where I stopped is right, I mean, like pretty much within like a minute or so, maybe at the most, of when he came in. And the flashlight had lit up, and I asked if it was Paul, and it went off to signal. And I'm like, is it Silas? No response. Is it, I forget who else I asked who it was, and Becca was with me. She's like, is it Thomas? And it lit up. I'm like, okay, well, hi, Thomas. Nice to finally talk to you, yada, yada, yada. And we went from there, and that's when, how we got all information on him. But, like, there were certain spots, by the way, that I incredibly drawn to. All through the truck. We were on the tour, went up to, where the were, and we come up the stairs. I was immediately drawn to the room, and I didn't know why. I mean, I can kind of theorize why now, knowing what we now know about what was going on in there. Because I lived for years prior to moving into this house with a guy named Daniel. And he was a friendly spirit, but he was kind of a trickster. He loved to things and move them around, and they would disappear for like 2 days and then reappear in exactly the same spot. I mean, like, you can measure it with a ruler and it'd be exactly the same spot where you had left. Or like you'd find it in the basement or something to that effect. And it was just him playing around with you. You know, nothing dangerous or anything. But evidently that was a story in the first dressing room when you went to the top of the stairs, and my theory is that I felt drawn there because it was, you know, kind of similar situation as with Daniel, and that's something I felt kind of a kinship to, I guess. And then, also, there was one spot I was actually drawn to the entire night, but for whatever reason I didn't go there. And that was the exit where Thomas always appears to people. And I didn't go there. Instead, I went into catering, where I was also feeling drawn. And lo and behold, Thomas shows up in catering instead of at the store where he is known and well reported to appear. So, I don't know, I found that to be kind of interesting within itself. One moment, folks, I gotta take a drink. Good stuff. Sorry about that. I'm trying to keep energized because I actually worked a double at my job today. And I'm not going to get into that whole thing because I would like to stay employed, but, you know, I have some choice words for some people. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways, yeah, so it was a tough day at the office, so to speak. So, anyways, we're going to continue on. I'm actually going to probably have to fast forward to where we left off because for whatever reason when I restarted it starts all the way at the beginning, which is kind of annoying, but whatever. And then we'll go from there. Alright, hold on 1 second.
Say no. Oh, okay. Or you could try to turn the light on. I don't know if it'll come on, but I don't have any. Here. This. Yeah, if you can turn that light on. This one right here. To let us know that you're here. Well, of course you're here, you just know, recorder. But you can tap it's easier for you.
that you just made that sound, Paul? Both heard you say hi earlier, by the way. She heard you say something else. But I don't know what it was. Making it known to listen extra careful because people talking on the other side of the wall. So, I'm sure you were down here to just get warm, but, did you have any unfinished business? Any message you want to give us? Wow, that was interesting. I don't know if you heard it. But I didn't hear it at the time. When I was actually recording this, I didn't hear it. But I just heard not really. In answer to that question, if you have a message that you want to pass on, etc., etc. Okay, well, I'm going to go to my other device, my actual digital recorder. Oh, excuse me. What the heck? Okay, I'm going to go to the session I did right before this one, and I think you'll hear it I don't recall exactly what happens, but I know it's on this recording, so here we go. That's me shuffling stuff around, by the way.
So, are you an actor? A dancer? Triple threat? Anything? Stagehand?
Okay, it was right there. I'm going to rewind it a little bit because it is very faint. So I'm going to listen to it probably a few times.
Anything? Stagehand?
Okay, one more time. Now, I do want to qualify this before I tell you what I think I hear. We were picking up voices there from our team of people that was on the other side of the wall. It was very thin walled, so we could, they could hear us. And so there was a lot of cross contamination going on at that particular. But what sounds like really faint, almost as if a totally different frequency. What I hear is kind of a whispery sounding voice come across and go, stagehand. Like that is saying stagehand. So I want to listen to this one more time and let's see if you can't pick up on it.
Dancer. Triple threat. Anything? Stagehand?
Yeah, it was right. It is super faint, so I don't know how well it translates over radio, but I like it, so there you have it. Alright, continuing on.
Now we're getting a lot talking from that direction.
Yeah, we were commenting on the fact that we were hearing the other group of people talking, and they weren't. I was actually grateful that they weren't being particularly loud. Like the one group, and once again, I don't know who they are. I'm not pointing fingers at anybody. There was one group, and it sounded like it was mostly females that was being particularly loud. Not to say that females are loud or anything of the sort. Just that's just so what it happened to be, and I don't care if it's male or female or black or white or green with purple polka dots. It doesn't matter to me. Common courtesy is common courtesy. That's all I'm saying. Anyways, So here we go. Oh, I guess that was the end of it. So, actually, let me go to... Oh, wrong way. I'm going to go to the session right before that one. This was actually... I've actually searched for this on my real-time EVP recorder. Actually, let me take another look just to see if I can't find it now. Because for some reason, I wasn't able to find it when I was looking for it. But you know how that goes. Let's see. Would have been probably... Yeah, it would have been probably this one. Really? Okay. That's interesting. I just tried to hit playback and it went off. Like, turned off. Alright, let's try this again. Let me find it. Okay.
Looks like they're loving you there. We're in the way to
No, not.
It was right there. This was when we were all gathered in the theater, and they were doing kind of like this orientation speech kind of deal, I guess you could say, and giving us a little bit of the history of the place right before they took us on the tour. And I caught on real-time EVP what sounds to me, and I'll play it again. It does sound a lot fainter on this than when I had my earbuds in, but it was a very distinctive sound. It was unmistakable to me. Was the sound of tap shoes on stage. And I even got up and went towards the stage in the midst of everything to try and hear better. So let me rewind this a little bit.
we're in the way to
No, not.
right there. And like I said, I mean, you could hear some other movements and stuff that sound like tapping or whatever. But this is, to me, it's a very distinctive sound. Once again, though, I am a drummer. I've played I haven't played drums for quite a while, but I was a drummer for years, and I know the sound of tap shoes. In fact, most drummers do, because we always try and recreate the sound, and it's almost impossible. Because you hear the tap, but there's like this very slight metal, like kind of clang with tap shoes that's really hard to recreate. So we recognize that sound, and that's what I hear. And it's so subtle that I almost missed it. To be honest with you, I mean, in the moment, I almost missed it, because with everybody talking and having a good time, and all the joviality and stuff, which was all great. It was just very hard to clearly hear in that moment. But listening to it now, I hear it even clearer than I did the first time. Like, in the moment, I hear it better now than I did then. So, that goes to show you why it's so important to review EVP evidence, even if it's real-time EVP and you heard it in the moment. There's some things that come up that you didn't even realize you heard. There's things that come up in evidence. That's why evidence review is so important in general. Because I'm mostly like a camera guy. For whatever reason, I was having issues with the camcorder that night, so I didn't even get to use it much. So I do have footage from back, because I'm going to put there a episode of the web series Forgotten Haunts for investigation. But I digress. But the point is, it's always important to review stuff, because you don't even realize it's been caught until you do. Now, having said that, our team with the web series, like, I'll listen to EVPs, like, tonight. A lot of them I heard in the moment with the real-time EVP recorder, but, like, all the digital recorder stuff, I got in the moment, but I didn't know exactly what. Because this is actually my first time really listening to it. I kind of did a little mini review last night, because somebody asked me about EVPs, and I was going to play them some. And that's ready to do this show tonight. And my phone went dead. It went dead. And I don't mean like it ran out of juice. I mean, it still had some battery life left. It was like a quarter charge still. For whatever reason, it just, all of a sudden, all that energy was gone out of the battery, and it stopped. And I was like, oh, well, I even commented at the time something about maybe they don't want you to listen or something. And, so it's really surprising now. That's actually part of trying to play. It was the whole part about the tap. Because I find that to be so clear and so amazing. It's actually corroborated by the whole thing with Thomas, too, because he was telling us how he was in love with this woman, and it was a taboo for him to be infatuated with her because she belonged to, I guess, the owner. And that within itself was like another taboo kind of time, because whites and blacks didn't intermingle in that way at that time. I mean, it did happen. It was just very hush-hush and behind closed doors kind of thing. You know, something about white shame, white guilt, I guess. But, the point is that she was off limits for Thomas, and I'm sure that made things a lot harder for him, because I got the impression, he didn't so much say it, but I definitely got the impression that he's head over heels for this lady. And I don't even know if she knew it, because he was just like always in the background, you know, he was just a stand. So like, he probably thought, you know, in kind of that old-fashioned way that, you know, she was out of his league because he was just a stagehand, and they were like different classes or whatever. So, yeah. And when he told me what happened, I could almost picture it in my head, like the way it must have happened. I can picture him like on this big like ladder, like almost like the kind you'd see like firefighters carry. You know, big 20 or 30 foot ladder, and he's up near the top trying to fix a light or something. And she comes on stage, you know, this secret love of his life, and he, you know, kind of turns on the ladder to watch her, and loses his grip on the rung and just falls to his death. Boom. Over. And I think the reason he haunts that exit door is because I feel like he used to watch her from there, because America, even in the 1920s, 1940s, 1950s and 60s, even as far as like 70s and 80s, and even today in some cases, is very, if not outright racist, is very separatist. You know, it's still considered taboo, even though it's become somewhat generally accepted. It's still by many considered taboo to have biracial relationships and whatnot. And, you know, of course, I don't agree with that. Hold on a moment. Sorry about that. Somebody somewhere played a song, and I was hearing it while I was trying to talk. So I had to rectify that situation. Anyways, so yeah, it's important to review your evidence. The thing is like for my web series, we don't do that. In fact, for my radio show, I don't do that. But I don't do that for a very specific reason. One, if I haven't even reviewed my evidence, how can I tamper with it? So a little bit extra credibility. And two, I like to bring my listeners or my viewers, in the case of the web series, into my team, them a part of the evidence review process. So, like, if you did the show or you watch the web series Forgotten Haunts or Forgotten Ghost Towns, the one that was, and you see something we didn't, comment at the bottom of the video telling us what you saw and at what time you saw it, and that in that way you're part of the evidence review team, which no parent was ever done before. Not Ghost Adventures did somewhat kind of do it with the whole Twitter comments during their live investigation on Halloween Trans-Allegheny, but other than that, really not anybody has ever done that. Not for, like a full-on thing. So I think we're kind of like the first, really. And, so, but, Kent Stage, if you've never been there, is definitely worth checking out. I would say if you're interested in doing a ghost hunt there, you need to contact the people at the lovely Kent Stage and ask them about doing a ghost hunt. I don't know if they actually do private ghost hunts or not, but it would never hurt to ask. Anyways, folks, that is just about all the time I have. I want to thank you all for tuning in. Tune in next time. I don't know what I'm going to be doing, as my work schedule is still very chaotic. I don't even know when it'll be. But I'll do my best to, inform folks beforehand. But until next time, my pack, my tribe, peace out.